Hey, what's up? This is Chosen. Wake up. I can't believe it, but we have got another fusion being teased already and coming to the game. I thought for sure we were gonna have a week or two of downtime in between the fragment events or the fusions until the next champion is kind of being hyped up to come out. But we have got CVC live, we have got a 10X live, and we have most notably got to go over this new champion to the game and get you my thoughts on them, if they're gonna be good, middling, bad, and all that type of stuff. I've got it pulled up, but I have not read it yet. I'm going to give you my first initial live reaction, so let's get into it. Alrighty, so first order of business, we need to get to this kit and see how good this is. A little side note, last night I was working on recording and editing my full deep dive champion guide on the fusion that just wrapped up, which was Nari the Lucky, and I'm gonna look really stupid in that because I said to expect like a week or two of downtime, I think, in between fusions, if I remember right. And then here we are, boom, 8 hours later, right after I record that, we are already getting the next champion teased to us, and this is going to be probably the quickest turnaround that we've ever seen for a fragment slash fusion event, maybe because of the whole madness of them having like 700 employees displaced with everything going on over there. That they're probably trying to catch up on some of their workflow, and things may have gotten backed up a little bit, so that could be a reason why we're seeing such a quick turnaround in a new fusion coming so quickly to the scene. And by the way, this is going to be a fragment event. It's not going to be one of those old school fusions where it's rares into epic into legendary. It is going to be a fragment event where you've got different tournaments and events where you get some of the fragments through those avenues, and then hopefully you get 100 of those fragments, and then you can fuse it up to get the champion. And the launch date for this is going to be exactly 1 week from today, Tuesday, April 19th. So next Tuesday, we'll have an off week for CVC, since CVC is every other Tuesday, and this will be launching on that day instead of a CVC. And then the next Tuesday, we'll have a CVC after that. And as we dive into some analysis of this here, the first things I'm noticing is Knight Revenant, Magic Affinity, and the aesthetic of it. It looks like it's got kind of a green theme going on, so maybe some sort of poisons, and I love how the champion looks. And also being Magic Affinity, you can see Narma is the only Magic Affinity legendary for the Knight Revenant, so that's pretty cool. And also, I want to show you Plarium's own words in describing the champion really quick. So let's flip over to that, and like you say, you've got the Knight Revenant legendary attack type champion. I don't think that was on the infographic. Okay, so it is going to be scaling with the attack stat and probably be some sort of a damage dealer instead of a support, and then the Magic Affinity. So Gaius the Gleeful's kit is the quintessence of chaos and explosions. Quintessence. Interesting. I've heard the word quintessential, but quintessence is a new one. I like that. Okay. The A1 gives Gaius an extra turn when killing an enemy. That's a mechanic we've seen before in champions like maybe Septimus, Relic Keeper, which is extremely useful in the arena when dealing with PvE content as well. Okay. With the A2, he's going to place bombs on all enemies and put them to sleep. Okay. Similar to like a seer where you do a bunch of damage and you place a sleep. Even considering the current stone skin meta, which is in PvP, you'll have no problem getting through that buff. And if the opponent has no stone skin on them, you'll be able to detonate the bombs even faster thanks to the sleep. This skill will come in handy when clearing PvE waves. Using his A3, Gaius can deal quite a damage by detonating all of the bombs on a target and ignoring unkillable. That's always good in the arena. Some of those Skull Crown, Leorius, and things like that are super annoying. This is a counter mechanic. Oh yeah, and Swift Parry, of course, and champions with unkillable in their skill set. Gaius the Gleeful's passive skill is kind of a trickster move with placing bombs on the attacker and instantly detonating all of the bombs when Gaius is killed. Okay, interesting. So now let's flip on back to the kit and go over this together. So right up top, we have got the A1, attack one enemy 2 times, grant an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy. Seems pretty mundane if there isn't a counter-attack mechanic or anything, but it could hit super hard, and it could get a lot of value. We'll have to see. That's the unfortunate thing. As you know, if you watch my channel, I wish we would get the multipliers, and I wish we could see what the books do to some of this stuff, because we don't know the cooldowns. Like, this probably books to 3 turns, but does this book to 3 or 4? That's a pretty big deal. But anyway, we got an AoE AoE on the A2 with a 75% chance. I'm sure that books up to 100. Typically, when they start at 75, they go 10 and 15 for books. We're going to place a sleep. So AoE that places sleep. Also a chance of placing 2 bomb debuffs on each enemy that detonate after 2 turns. Okay, then we've got the A3, attack 1 enemy 2 times. The first hit is going to detonate all bomb debuffs on the target, and then the second hit will ignore all unkillable buffs on the target. So I'm assuming his AI is going to prioritize the A2, going to place a bunch of bombs and sleeps, and then come through the next turn and start detonating those bombs and doing massive damage while ignoring some unkillable stuff. Okay, then we've got the passive here. When attacked is the 30% chance of placing a bomb debuff on the attacker that detonates after 2 turns and can occur once per hit. Okay, so that means like you got somebody like a Foley that runs in and attacks him 4 times. You're not gonna proc like a super lucky scenario where you place 4 bombs. It's just gonna be you know, once per kind of attack there, because I'm assuming that's what they mean when they say occurs once per hit. I think it kind of means once per turn. They've done that before where I've noticed where they say this occurs once per hit or something, and they actually mean once per like enemy turn when they come at you with that. Instantly detonate all bomb debuffs on all enemies whenever this champion is killed. Okay, so if you end up in a scenario where you've got a reviver like Duchess or something, where you can bring Gaius back to life, you're going to instantly detonate any of those bombs. So you can almost have a scenario where it's good for the champion to die, detonate everything, then you have your reviver, pop them back up, and you're good to go. We've got an aura of increased ally attack in all battles by 25%. So, okay, my first reaction is, you know, Plarium has really struggled to make bombs viable. You've got champions like War Mother and Lord Shazar that can definitely crank out damage. It's just hard to get it to be super consistent and reliable in terms of being something you'd want to bring to your team on a regular basis. Like if this guy has good base stats and multipliers and everything kind of checks out, I could see him definitely having a role in the meta, especially getting some value out of being killed, because revive is super like often used and is amazing. So if he ends up kind of having all those things fall in line, I could see him definitely being a pretty solid champion. Based off of what I see right here, my first initial reaction without knowing all of the other information I would need is probably like a B plus, A minus. I think he looks pretty solid, and he has potential to either be like an A or a B, depending on how the base stats and the cooldowns and all that stuff shakes out. And for fun, why not? I'll try to guess what his base stats are going to be, and we can always look back and see how close I get. So for HP, I'm going to say 17,210. And then for, I think the next one is always attack. I'm going to say 1,495. And then defense, I'm going to guess probably around like 1,082. And then what's the next one that's always crit rate? I'm gonna say 15 because that's always kind of what it is. Crit damage, let's go with 63. And then for res, I'm gonna go with 40. And then accuracy, I'm gonna go, it's either gonna be 0 or 20. With him being a damage dealer and not a support, he's gonna have to build so many stats like crit rate and stuff. So I hope they give him 20. That would really help him out. So I'm gonna go with something like that is kind of what I expect the base stats to look like. And then while we're here, we can get you caught up on everything else going on in game. Obviously, for CVC, I covered this yesterday in our weekly kickoff video, but we are going to be having a 10x today in Ancients and Sacreds for Sishia Flametongue, and then tomorrow in Void Shards, there will be a 10x for Cardial. This is going to be the incentive during CVC on Tuesday and Wednesday to go ahead and pull shards, but I warned in yesterday's video to be wary because this weekend is like a 99% chance to be 2x Voids, so even though Cardial is a pretty solid top 10 viable Void legendary, you may want to consider holding off because 2x Voids is going to be this weekend. So if that's a priority to you, save up for this weekend on your Void shards. Today was also a brand new batch of clan quests, so make sure you get in there and work with your team to claim some of those quests and get started on that journey so you can start earning fragments for things that you want to buy, like the Yakarl fragments that are new to the clan shop. And it's also your last day to get your Hydra keys in. So get those 3 battles in for the week and make sure you are spending that if your clan is the one that hits Hydra. And then also under the tournaments tab, just to get you caught up on the tournaments and events going on right now. Mostly par for the course and normal. Should be a pretty standard next 5 or 6 days until we lead into the next fragment event, which, by the way, I want to reiterate, it is a fragment event. I know some people get confused. Like, they just had a fragment event, so is this going to be one of those old school fusions next? Nope. It's going to be tournaments and events for fragments. And you'll have some bonus ones up for grabs, finishing like in the top 2 of some of those tournaments and stuff. So nothing wrong with kind of taking it easy and playing it safe, just kind of doing what you need to for CVC, but kind of planning your resources around being able to get after those fragment events accordingly. But today you will have artifact enhancement and champion training live if you're looking for something to double dip with CVC on top of the spider tournament that is currently going on. And I also want to pop into the shop to talk about something here really quick. I don't see an offer that super stands out to me. The personal packs that can be decent, but not that great. Same with both of these pack strings. They're meh. Nothing super amazing to talk about. But I do want to talk about Lumaya's Prophet. How do you say that? Lumaya, Lamaya. I have no clue how to say that. But anyway, it's one of the 3 Arbiter skins that are new to the game. And one thing you'll notice is this is 40 instead of 50. And I know at first glance it might seem like, okay, Plarium tried out $50 and now they're lowering the price to $40 because not very many people bought the skin. But this was actually data mined a while ago through the internal game systems by people that were data mining and looking for things, and we'd have known for a while that this skin was going to be $40. So according to Plarium's original plan, this is perfectly in line with what we thought. I don't know why they would make the Jade 150 and this one 40 because they're both the same rarity. Because when you see that we pull up the Arbiter skins here on the side, they're both the same. They're both legendary skins. And then the Dark Fallen skin, it has got the purple backdrop here, indicating it's more of an epic type skin. But these are both legendary, so I don't know why they're different prices. If I had to guess, I would say Plarium internally wanted to try out 2 different legendary skins, one for 50 and one for 40, and then check the analytics to see which one made more money, like this many copies times $50 or this many copies times $40, which one ended up being better. And then we'll probably see that pricing model going forward. I would guess, you know, it's tough because this was the first one, so you might have people more interested in buying it. Like people that just spent $50 for a skin are probably going to be less likely to turn around and spend $40 for a skin right away. So even though this one is priced more, it may have sold better. But you know, I don't know. We'll have to kind of see how it plays out. I still think $40 is too much personally. And it looked like from all the polling I did on stream and on video, about 1% of the player base, maybe a little bit less, somewhere around 0.5 to 1% of the players bought this this Jade Arbiter skin. So I'm gonna guess it's gonna be about the same for this skin here, around like 0.5% of people buying it. So hopefully we'll see those come down to a more accessible price, because I think even at $15 or $20, that's a lot to spend for a skin, and I do think they would sell a lot more of them at least at that price. So alrighty, that does it for this one. I'm going to head on over to stream to hang out with you guys and talk about this new champion, say hi for a little bit and get your thoughts. As always, let me know down below what you think. We might host a poll on the channel to see people's opinions on this champion. I think I host a poll on the YouTube channel, and I always have the options like S, A, B, C, F. I'm going to guess this one ends up as an A-. I think it'll be most people voting A, and then B will be a little bit more common than S. So I think the community, if I had to guess, is going to end up grading as an A- for this champion is my prediction. A- or B+. So we'll have to see how that goes, but there will be a link down below in the pinned comment if you would like to pop in and say hi as we get this guy added to the tier list maybe, although I like to wait until we get the base stats and more information, so I might hold off on adding him to the tier list, but we'll at least start talking about this guy and play a little bit of raid and say hi to you guys for a little bit. So as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.